Well, I guess we're live. Well, on that point, just checking right now, checking the stream right now, because I've been out for quite a while so far. Didn't stream for about like half a year. As you all probably know, if you're in touch with the channel and me, like particularly, probably know that yeah, I had a second kid coming, and it was kind of like expected that I will be out like for half a year. And right now I just like kind of wanted to record this fast video so far, like to get you an update on what's going on, like and what will happen so far, like with me. But okay, let me probably increase the sound of a mic right now. I guess it's kind of low. Should be a little like this. Uh, a little like this. Should be a little louder. Maybe a little more. So sorry about all of that. As I said, like didn't stream for quite a while. It's kind of like a test stream so far to give you all an update. Okay, it should be fine right now as far as I see the sound of a mic. Should be a little better. But in case it's still not really that well, that good, and overall, just let me know so far in the chat or like in the comments and all of that stuff. So yeah, so what I've been up to, right? Half a year has passed. What changed? And like a lot of you people actually know that I live in Ukraine, and a lot of people who actually contact me were worried, like on what is happening, like where have you been for quite a while. But all is well, as you can see, and kind of like healthy here. Even started to work out a little to get me back in shape. And not really close to right now. Finally found like a little time that I can spend like on streaming again, and I will be back so far like with all the content, but the content will change obviously, right? Content will change because before I was okay. I kind of think that's some problem on there. Okay, not really sure. Uh, it feels like a stream a little off, right? One sec. Yeah, something's happening out there. Okay, let's do something like this. Sorry about all that, like, that is probably just a video for those of you who are actually wondering what's going on, but, you are, um, not actually sure what is happening, but it feels like, some kind of like problem with an internet connection so far. Let me check it out. I'll like quickly out there. Mm-hmm. Check this out quickly. It's kind of like saying to me it's an unstable internet so far, but not sure why though. Okay, should be a little better, but it turns out not to be quite well yet. Hmm. Maybe I have to like turn this off. Let's see what happens if I turn this off. Should be better. Should be better so far. Okay, let's see. Still a problem, right? Still some kind of problem. I'm curious, like, what happens here. Quite an unfortunate turn of events. It's the internet, like, lets me down right there. But okay, so what if I do this? What if I do this? I'm not sure. Hmm. Guys, I can see that some of you actually are like already watching the stream. Please let me know if the stream is actually like coming back or not so far. Because as far as I and the overall, let me see. Like if I can actually like try to make it happen. Okay, let me try again. Okay, I just hope like this time it will be fine. Let's try it out like this. It should be better. Should be much better. Okay, so as I was saying, like out for half a year, was paying a little attention to my health overall. The kid is well and kicking, obviously. So I have two girls now, as far as it is. We moved to another place. It was quite like taking a lot of my time so far. And I really have to like spend a lot of time with kids because they're like small and they need a lot of attention. Like you have to basically like be 24/7 with them, obviously, as it was before, but before it was like one kid. And I found some time after a while, right, to actually start my YouTube and dedicate a lot of attention to it and like do a lot of videos and stuff. Like we were playing Hearthstone all over, and as you probably know, like if you actually watched a lot of Hearthstone content that I made before, you know for the fact that at some point I was like hitting a wall of a top 100 because as you probably know, like if you play Hearthstone, like to reach legends, you just like have to play a little consistently, right? Just to like to get used to the cards and stuff. If you play on a legend and try to hit like higher ranks, you have to like get better in the game, play pretty good decks and stuff. But when it comes to like grinding to like top 1000, you have to actually be really good, and it's still not like inappropriate for you to play your own decks and stuff. So I played like my customer decks like based on what like I loved so far. And that led me to the point when I was able to compete for a top 100. But after top 100, even if you're like playing your unique decks that you're comfortable with, that you know how to play them, yeah, and you don't mess around with like actually testing some weird stuff, like But for a stream, I actually had to test a lot of stuff, and sometimes actually was pretty harsh on my ranks. But the whole idea there that I reached a point where I could play whatever I wanted and still compete for top 100. But when it comes to like competitive stuff, competitive things, right? You have to reach like at least top 10 usually, or consistently hit a top 100. And when it comes to time, when I was able to actually hit the top 100, there was a point where I played for I don't know about like 6 hours a day for a lot of time, and that was a problem for me as a parent and as a working individual, right? Because I had to I was lucky enough to have that time at that point, but that was not like something that could consistently be happening in my life. So on the next month, I was like, I was worried that I would not have the same amount of time, and that was the case. So I just like considering on the idea of me actually like trying to compete for top 100 and more. And yeah, that was a turning point. Like I was trying to like I was having fun, obviously, like trying all the different decks, like playing out with the meta and stuff. But um, the things that made the game interesting for me actually kind of disappeared because I understood that like at some point you have like a deck and you have like a skill of that gives you somewhere like around 50+% win rate, right? For me, it was usually like 52, 55%. And what that means is that you have to play a lot of games because for um, like compared to your losses, you have to win like 100 plus games, right? If you like take away all of those likes that you lost, and but considering like the ranking system, right? But when it comes to like climbing from top 100 to like top 10, you will need about like I don't know, maybe a couple hundreds more. But when it comes to like top 1, you need like 1,000 more. And I just like don't have this time. Like people are grinding 16 hours a day for like 30 days. Plus their rating actually keeps up from previous months, previous seasons, and all of that good stuff. Like you have to actually grind for quite a while and just like don't really have that much time. So yeah, at that point, like when I realized that, when I realized that you cannot like casually get into a top tier level of competitive Hearthstone without actually like making it like a dedication of your everyday life, with the motivation actually sparkling for you and without any disturbances, like someone brings you food, you don't have to actually cook, someone works for you, gives you money like your parents, right, when you're like a student. If you don't really have like a family there, if you don't really have kids that you have to take care of, and you have to entertain them, develop them, right? You have to like be with them, play with them, go to a doctor, go to like daycare if they're like um, a little older. All of that stuff aside, like you have to actually be able to just concentrate on the game basically. The best alternative that I saw at that point was like a streamer that I saw who was able like to stream about 8 hours a day each day, having a family and a kid, but like the wife was taking care of everything, and he was like able to actually spend like at least 8 hours a day, like without all the prep, all the like extra activities, without all of that. At least 8 hours a day of streaming to be able to consistently be somewhere in the top 100, right? Consistently. And that would be like stack up with some points, and you might actually have a shot into like preliminaries, like all of that good stuff. But it's not my case. Like I don't really like see me greening all of that stuff, and for just it's not me. I'm the person who actually like if I climb like to the full extent, and if I cannot do that, I kind of like feel a struggle, right? And so I don't really like that. So at that point, like in this half a year when I was off taking care of kids who are like small, you have to like as I said like give them a lot of attention. Have to help your wife postpartum, all of that good stuff, right? Plus, you still need like to work and all of this. Despite all of that, like I was thinking about like all of this YouTubes that I had there, Hearthstone, and like overall what we have there going on. And at that point, I realized that I probably have to change something, right? Obviously, for me, I either like continue having fun in Hearthstone, but as I said, like the fun was a little diminished there with because the competitive side of it is like as I once heard from one streamer, right? The only thing that this game can offer is a winning, right? So if the fun of winning, if there is no like end goal of you winning whatever, so what is the fun of the game? And the fun of the game for me was deck building for quite a while, and overall a community that I play with, and people who support me and all that good stuff. But yeah, the fun was not like the same as it was before. After I realized all the hard truths of the Hearthstone competitive side, and at that point, I realized I kind of love to play other games, right? For example, like in this half a year, I was lucky enough to have some time to play, for example, like a Hollow Knight Sing Song. I'm a huge fan of Hollow Knight, so like overall, like I played it a couple of times, like replayed it a couple of times before, and that was the point I was thinking. Like a lot of people actually wrote to me that they would love to see me playing other games, and I'm kind of like good, like really good in some of them, right? I played them for quite a while before. I have a few like my personal favorites. So as is right now, I'm thinking about like this channel will probably go into the direction of for me of something like a let's play channel, right? Where I will just like play whatever games I like at first, and maybe at some point I will just like try something new, some new games and some new stuff. But for now, I kind of like really hope to get some time and get some, some ability for me to play all the favorites, plus some games that I started at some point, but like left them. Overall, they're all on my Steam. I have like hundreds of games that I bought at some point. Some of them I played, some of them I didn't. And I just want to kind of like come back to that stuff and just like play whatever I like. I am thinking about actually like to play for example with the Binding of Isaac, right, or Rebirth, that I played even before the YouTube channel appeared there. Played it for 1,200 plus hours, only the latest expansion, right? And that was that was a game I loved for quite a while. It helped me to get through a lot of stuff when the war began, and it was just like kind of like a break for me to escape from everything what is going on and have some kind of rest, like mentally so far. And then it helped me get through a lot of stuff. So, and that is only one game. I had a lot of others that I really loved. For example, like a Darkest Dungeon was the same story for me, because the war there is like for years already. So it was like here and there, and just like played some weird games, just like hard enough and interesting enough for me to like for at least an hour to like forget about everything what is happening around me and just like have a kind of like a mental break, right? And that was a lot, and that was a lot, and that was I needed, and thanks to those games. And I kind of think that the love that I developed to gaming so far, like through all of this time, I kind of want to translate it in my channel, right? But that is not it. That is not it. What I was thinking about at some point of this like half a year break, I was also thinking like, what things do I love, right? So throughout my life, I had like various interests, like beside gaming. And one of them, for example, was physics, right? For all of those of you who don't really know, I'm actually like a graduate, like a master's degree in biotech. I earned my bachelor in the field of quantum physics. So I'm kind of like not a newbie to that kind of field. And yeah, when I realized that, I started to um, get back in shape, not only physically, but I was also like, as a podcast and like, on the back of my headphones when I was working out and all of that good stuff, I was starting to actually listen to some podcasts, like scientific podcasts, and like, watch some kind of physics videos and all that stuff. Things that I like, right? About like new trends, somewhere like interviews with the guys who won Nobel Prize and all of that stuff, right? And at some point, like I was telling my wife, it's a huge difference. So like how people present like as information when it comes to like a Nobel Prize winner, right? And a regular guy who's actually doing something kind of cool, right? Kind of cool, and find some investments and stuff, but in their like what they're doing, right? But they cannot like present the information that they're working with to like a broad audience, right? Me as a person who actually understand what they're saying and understand everything like perfectly so far what they're talking about, right? listening to a podcast like that was kind of like a struggle, not because I didn't understand something or like it was not interesting, like as a physicist for me, right? For me, I understand like, and what saddened me there was the only problems that all of those like scientific channels had. People were not like were not interested, like their storytelling sucked, right? And a lot of problems came out of that, right? As a for me, I would love to actually do some content on that note. Like I would love to to present some content in a more engaging way when it comes to like to things that I love, right? Just to physics. And that doesn't mean that I will not like continue with my channel. Like as I said, like I love particular couple of things, right, in my life the most, like which is gaming, physics, and sports, obviously, because as I said, like I was a semi-pro at some point, right? So three points were that I want to highlight on this channel, because that's me, right? That's my story. You take it or live it. Yeah, that's kind of like a personality I am. I love all of that stuff, and I think about like doing content in all of those areas, right? I'm not sure about like sports, because like all I can do right now, like I will not be competing as a wrestler anymore. Obviously, my career ended with me hurting myself, right? Because at one point on a tournament I actually hurt my shoulder really bad, and after that had a really long recovery, and you know I still feel that somewhere deep down under my chest the trauma is still there, right? If I will push myself too much. Hey there again, welcome back. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. And welcome back, you too. So yeah, the trauma is still there under my chest, and I'm pretty sure if I push myself really hard again, it will come off. And I don't really want more of those, right? Don't really want more of those. Have more at stakes. I was not a student anymore. Who doesn't care about tomorrow, right? For me, getting out on a bed with a trauma for like a couple of weeks makes a huge difference, because I will not be able to make money. I will not be able to to be with my family, my kids, help my wife, and all that good stuff. So for me, it's kind of like out of the table. But I still do sports like on my own level, right? Which is like weightlifting and all of that good stuff. When I was weightlifting at some point, like I am the guy who was casually deadlifting 700 pounds, like just for you to understand like what's going on. I was on a pretty high level of that. So, but yeah, my prime is far off, because after that, like about 5 years, I was not doing anything. And 5 years is a long time for those of you who don't really understand. 5 years off a break is a long time, and now I have to get back in shape for quite a while. And it's been half a year. I was like training about like 5, 6 times a week, but I was not like training hard. Like getting in shape means that you will do something like really easy at some point. Like for now, all I do is kind of like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 quads, right? As in a One Punch Man, right? One Punch Man workout, but without a 10-mile run, without a 10-mile run, because I don't really have that much time so far right now. But maybe in the future, maybe in the future. So, but yeah. Oh, and a solo leveler, right? And a solo leveler, right? The new popular stuff. Oh, actually, I started to actually watch some animes before I go to sleep, and it's kind of like my way to forget about the day and prepare myself to a sleepy state where I can actually rest for a while. So yeah, that was at some point like what happened to you. But yeah, so I kind of want to produce content in that particular like way. I want to think about like physics. I want to think about more games, try out a lot of games that I really like. For example, like a Hollow Knight Sing Song. Like this game I was waiting for like years, and I started to play it, and I realized I kind of wanted to stream it. Like what stops me, right? What stops me from streaming the games I like? And I kind of, as I said, like a lot of games that I want to play to you, I will probably stream them for YouTube too. Maybe at some point we'll come back to Hearthstone as soon as I feel right about it, but I think that should happen when I will have more time. For now, considering like the lack of flexibility in my schedule, I will just go with all of those games that I prepared. Plus, I will think about like coming back to you, reviewing a physics content for you to make it kind of like engaging, funny, and all of that good stuff. And In my like future kind of like hopes I will be able to do some content about like about sports, right? About sports, about like body development, about like weightlifting, about all that good stuff. But I'm not sure about that yet. And it's not sure a lot of people are actually interested in that kind of stuff. There are a lot of really good influencers when it comes to health. I watch a lot of them, but maybe I will. As I said, that's my personality. I can do whatever I want on my channel. You can just search and watch just whatever you like. You want Hearthstone, you will watch Hearthstone. Like content that I made from Hearthstone, and I'll probably make something new. So I'll probably watch Hearthstone if you're here for Hearthstone, and you'll probably watch other games. And if you're into like some kind of games that you actually particularly like, and you played something else. Plus, as I said, like maybe you're the person who will want to watch physics and stuff. You'll probably find that on the channel soon enough. And yeah, so everything as it is right now, it's kind of like what is happening, and it's kind of like what I really want to do in the nearest future. Just talked it out. And yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well so far. Sorry if you missed me for too much. Just kind of couldn't find like a way to squeeze all of that in into my schedule back to streaming. I had like even the last week. I was actually like preparing all of that like tech stuff like for the stream, and still there are problems, right? Still there are problems with me streaming, and for some reason like my internet just gave up on me, and Twitch gave up on me at some point of the stream particularly. But yeah, I think I will, get it back all in shape. I will check how a mic is doing, how the sound is doing there, and as soon as I'm ready and I'm settled, like with whatever it is, well, I will probably start to play some games. And obviously, like, hopefully, I will see you all on the streams, see you all on the videos. I will see all of your comments out there and so forth. But yeah, it is something like this, and thank you for all who actually like came to see me live, and just to to be updated on what is going on, and to see my face back again in half a year, right? But so far that is it. Thank you everyone for watching. But that is it for today as a quick update, and I hope